All right. I think we have people logged in. We may have a few more people joining as we get started here, but that's totally fine. Just want to welcome you guys to our webinar for today, Unleashing Insights. This is all about using Power BI in Business Central. So these are two amazing products that work really, really well together. And we're excited you guys are here. Excited to have some participants following our webinar today. And hopefully we will teach you something new. So we're really excited about these new reports. This has just come out in the latest version of Business Central. So we have these new reports that are an option for us as Business Central users that we can embed all these Power BI reports. There's actually 76 reports that are available. So but we're going to talk you through kind of the setup and how to do this today. But before we do that, let me jump over to my slide. So my name is David, and I am joined by some of our colleagues that are backups here for me. So I've got Callie and Bobby and Alex and Tara, a few people with us on our call today as well. So I appreciate their support as part of our TrendSoft team. I'm the Director of Business Development here, and I work especially with our Power BI team as well. And so that is my role. TrendSoft has been around since the 90s. We've been working in ERPs and financial software since that time. So we have many, many decades of experience and have been working with Business Central from the very beginning when Business Central first came out, and also with Power BI as well. So we love working in Power BI, helping people visualize data and making it look amazing. We like to say we turn chaos into clarity. So all those different spreadsheets you've got and data from all these different places and all that kind of thing, we turn that into clear, beautiful reports, and not the old way. The old way is a little bit boring, maybe a little slow. We like the new way, and we talk about old spreadsheets and lots of data, and they have their place, but we like it to look really good and be very visual and have live data that's refreshed every hour, half hour, something like that. And so spreadsheets to live data and things like this are the type of thing that we love helping customers create. And you may already be using Power BI, but it's something that we do at TrendSoft that we love to do, is helping people visualize data and honestly save money or make more money by being able to see these insights very, very easily. They couldn't find them on a giant spreadsheet, but once they can see it visually, they can make great decisions about their data. So, and Power BI, just in case you don't know what that is, Business Insights, that's what the BI stands for. It is a Microsoft product, and it is a cousin to Business Central, which is part of the Dynamics suite of apps. And Power BI and Business Central have always been able to work together really well, but just recently, in the last month or two, Microsoft has actually started to allow direct embedding of these reports, and they're providing these built-in reports for you now. So we're hopeful that you're going to love what they've got, and we're going to show you how to set that up today. The Business Central, I'm guessing that many of you guys already have some idea of what that is. It is a ERP that is designed for small to medium business. It allows you to do all sorts of course, financial, and manufacturing, logistics, inventory, ordering, that sort of thing. Everything that's normally involved in an ERP is what Business Central does, and it connects with Power BI, as I was describing just a minute ago. So these two things work really, really well together, and we're going to talk today about the embedded reports. All right, and so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to go to a demo here in just a second, but before I did that, I wanted to show you the basic 5 things that we're going to do. And these are kind of your steps. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to see this recording later, please put your email address in the Q&A. And so you can put that in as it shows up as a question, but that's fine. And then we'll make sure we get you a copy of this. So don't feel like you have to take lots of notes right here. We can send you the recording afterwards if you do that. So, but you might want to screenshot this one, because these are your basic 5 steps. You're going to get the licenses, and you do need a pro or premium license for Power BI, and obviously a license for Business Central as well. And so then in Power BI, you install these apps, and they're available to you. I'm going to show you that today. available to you that you can go in and say get apps and install these Power BI apps. And so then back in Business Central, you set up the connection. So you just tell Business Central, Power BI has these apps. I want to see them in Business Central. All right. And we'll show you how to do that today. And then back on the Power BI side, you also, it's kind of a handshake. On the Power BI side, you also go back in and say, all right, here's the data I want to show Power BI as well. So you kind of do a setup a little bit on both sides. Power BI, some setup, Business Central, a little bit of setup. And then step 5, you get to view the reports and make amazing decisions on your data and save yourself a lot of money. All right. So those insights are super, super helpful. And that's the whole point in what we're doing here today. All right. So without further ado, I am going to jump over to our demo, and we're first going to look at licenses. All right. And so I'm going to go to Power BI, and this is all sample data here today. So any names you see are just sample data as we go along here. But when I'm back here in Power BI, all right, I'm going to look at the apps side, and then I'm going to show you quickly what my license looks like in this sample. All right. And so you'll see in just a second my license. And if I can zoom in a little bit for you, so you can see I am a premium user. All right. And then you have to be a premium or pro user in order for this to work. Okay. So you do need a license for Power BI. All right. And of course you need a license for Business Central. So I'm first going to go here. I'm going to make sure I have this license. I can purchase a license. We sell licenses. So you can come to Trendsoft and purchase licenses through us. So we're an easy place to buy those licenses. But you do need a license for Power BI in order to make this work. All right. So back on the Business Central side. All right. Let me just refresh my screen here. On the Business Central side, I need to make sure I'm in the right environment and company. Okay, because the setup I'm about to do connects the Power BI data and the Business Central data. So I really need to make sure that I am using the correct company as I move forward. All right. So let's give this just a second to refresh the page, and you will see in the top right, you will see where it says environment sandbox demo. All right, I'm just in a sandbox. And if you're using Business Central, you get 4 different environments to use, and one of them is production. You get 3 sandboxes that you can play around and practice using data. So that's what I'm using today, all sample data here. And so in Business Central, I'm looking at this and I can see I'm in the environment sandbox demo. All right. And even the company that I'm in is a sample company called Cronus Demo. All right. The name of the company is right up here. Cronus Demo, complete sample is what I called it. So those are the 2 things that I really need to check to make sure that I have the rights to even do what I'm trying to do today. All right, that's pretty important. So a little bit about the structure. The data is actually in Power BI. So you will see here in just a minute, you'll see all the reports that show up in Business Central, but those reports actually reside in Power BI because they are Power BI reports. So it's important for you guys to understand how that structure works so that you know it is reading my Business Central data, but the reports themselves live in Power BI. All right. And so good that you guys know how to do that or that know how that works. So when we're back here in Power BI, I have this list of apps and I can see Dynamics 365 Business Central manufacturing. And then there's 6 or 7 different apps that are available right at this point. All right. And so I'm going to show you real quickly how to get these apps in Power BI. So I've got to start here because the reports and the apps really live there. And these apps really are a collection of reports. All right. So that's why you're going to see them called apps on the Power BI side. But they are really a collection of reports. All right. So in Power BI, if I'm on the apps tab, I can go up to the top right where it says Get Apps, and this green up here in the top right. And this is going to take me to a new screen. All right. This new screen is where I can search for lots of different apps that are available in Power BI. And so today we're focused on the Business Central connection because that's what we really want to look at. And that's what we're very excited about. So I'm going to look up the word inventory, and I'm going to pick one of these. And I have loaded some of these already, but I intentionally left inventory off so that we could practice with it today. All right, so I'm going to choose this inventory Power BI app, and you'll see the screen. This is straight out of App Source actually, so it's really just an app that it is that's published on App Source. And so I can see the name of the app up here, Inventory Power BI app for Business Central. I think they make it very, very clear. It's easy to know what you're doing and where you are. And I wanted to point out there's a lot of other apps that are available. I have most of these installed already, but there are really 6 different apps that are installed. One of them is kind of split into 2, but so there's several different apps that are available. Finance, sales, usage analytics, which is kind of interesting. I'll show you that in just a minute. And then the purchasing, there's another one for manufacturing as well. So I'm just going to click Get It Now and confirm that here. And it will probably take me to a little screen that asks you my username, but I've done that already today, so it might not ask me again. Let's see. So it's taking me back to Power BI, and then I get a little message in the top right that says installing app. This could take a while, but guess what? It does not take a while. It's usually done in like less than 30 seconds. So it should pop up pretty quickly and give us access. All right, so your new app is ready. And so we're in Power BI. We went to apps. We went to Get Apps, and we searched for inventory in this case, but a search for Business Central would give you all the Business Central apps as well. All right. So I'm going to look for inventory, and I'm going to open this up. And I want you guys to have a look at what this looks like. All right, so this is the report, guys. This is it. The magic is sitting right here in Power BI. This is the exciting part. So I've got data. Now you might see this little yellow bar. It says you're viewing with sample data. That's okay because this is all a sample database right now, so that's totally fine. But this is the app, the inventory app. And then there are actually multiple reports I can see on the left-hand side. All right. And I can choose a few of these and just look at a couple of the samples so you guys can see it on the screen. All right, purchasing and sales, inventory item availability, all that sort of thing. So lots and lots of really rich information. And all the sample apps that I've installed that I'm going to show you here are really, there's a variety of them here. And so some are more specific to finance, some are more about manufacturing, some are more about users themselves, kind of the geeky part of who's using Business Central and what features they're using and that kind of thing. So that's as simple as it is, guys. I was on the apps page. I went to Get Apps, and I chose, in this case, inventory. And I found the one that was Business Central, Dynamics 365 Business Central Inventory. And then I loaded it. All right. So, but the whole point is that this connects with Business Central. So this app is great, but I want to make sure that it's connected and I can see it in Business Central. All right. So back on the Business Central side, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. I mentioned the license, which you have to have your license that you're using already, but I do need to check permissions. And so as a user, my name is David. This is my login. I'm logged in right now. And so I'm going to go to my user. I'm just going to switch tabs. Refresh that screen real quick. I'm going to let both those refresh so that I don't have to wait for those each time. So on my user card page, I have to make sure that I have specific permissions in order to do this. So if you look down here at the bottom, this is my, and I can get to this by searching for users. I can use the magnifying glass and search for users and then find my user, but I've just shortcutted straight to my user page. So if I click on my username, I see my user permission sets right here. And I've got admin and basic. So Power BI report admin is the one you need to set all this up. Power BI report basic is the permission set you need to just use the reports. So that's, think of it as view. It could be called viewer actually, but it's not. It's called basic. So Power BI report admin, that's what I need in order to do this. But I actually have both permissions turned on here. So very important that you have your permissions set up and that view, you got everything set so I can actually do the work. All right. So once the permissions are set, I need to actually set up this relationship between the reports and the apps on Power BI and on Business Central. All right. So I don't know if you're aware, but there are a lot of assisted setup features or assisted setup kind of wizards built into Business Central. I'm using just one of them today. Let me see if I can scroll the right spot. Yep, connect to Power BI. So if you've never installed any of the reports, as soon as you click on one of the reports in Business Central, it will prompt you to do this this assisted setup. But I want you to see the screen as well. All right. So this is it. I'm on Power BI assisted setup, and it's basically telling me what it's going to do. Let's go. I like that. I'm ready to go. First question to ask is about your calendar. So we have a standard calendar here, but you can set up a specific type of calendar if you go, July to June or something like that. And then your time zone, we happen to be GMT -5, so there we are. And this is your default range that you want the data to show. And so you can actually change this later on. It's not a big deal, but this is just what it defaults to. What days of the week are you working? That's important for some Power BI reports. And then on this screen here, I actually go and I tell Business Central where those reports are on Power BI. So I'm going to just choose this inventory one that we just did. All right. And if I click the three dots, this, because I'm logged into both my Business Central and my Power BI, I can go over here and say, when I go to this screen, it actually reads my apps and reports that are in Power BI. And then I can click on this Power BI report and say, okay. And now I've connected. This is the magic. This is where I'm connecting Business Central to Power BI. All right. And when I click next, I get this confirmation page, and it tells me the environment that I'm in. It tells me the company name and allows me to finish setting that up. All right. I'm actually going to close this because I've already done this in the past, and I don't want to ask it to do it one more time. All right. So that's an important step. I've loaded my apps in Power BI. I've checked my permissions in Business Central. I've done the setup in Business Central. And then we have one more step. But before I do that, I want to show you what I showed you just a minute ago was the assisted setup. That's a part of Business Central. But there is actually another page, which is called the Power BI connector. Now, on this page, this is the same as the wizard, the assisted setup, but it's just the plain old page that gives me all the place where I can do those settings. All right. So I can see the name of the environment, the company name, and all of these settings. You remember we talked about calendar type just a minute ago, and the time zone. And then I was connecting the reports. So this is all the same thing. It's just that the assisted setup is really just a wizard that kind of talks you through it. So this is another screen that I can go to if for some reason I don't like the assisted setup wizard, or if I just want to go in here and do it this way, or if later on I want to go and make changes, then all I have to do is search for Power BI connector setup right here in the top right in Business Central, and then it'll bring up this page. So this is really the page where I can define that relationship between Power BI and Business Central and really make sure that they're talking well. All right, so we've set up most of those already. I think good enough for our example today. We have these things set up. And so let me go back to Power BI. And I don't want to keep you waiting too long. I want to show you some of these reports in Business Central. But when I'm back on Power BI, I just wanted you to see that I have this report here for inventory. And I have a button here that lets me connect your data. All right. And so right now, this Power BI report is using sample data because I just installed it from AppSource. So it comes with some sample data. But instead of that sample data, I want to connect to my data. And what I can do here is, hold on, So I need to tell it what my environment is. And if I go back to Business Central, I can see sandbox underscore demo. So I'm going to tell the name of my environment. And then I can actually see my company name as well. If I hover over that, I can see Cronus demo complete sample with a little hyphen in between. So I type that in. All right. So remember, I'm back here on Power BI, and now I'm connecting real data. It's the actual Business Central data. Before it was just showing some sample data. All right. And I'm going to click next. It's going to make sure that it knows who I am and that I have rights to the report. There's really nothing to change on this next page. This is just the protocol that it's using to make sure I'm authenticated. I can pick my name. All right, and then it's going to refresh. So I should see this appear at the top, and eventually it will say refresh on a certain time on the Power BI report. All right. So now I've connected this report that I'm looking at in Power BI with my Business Central data. All right. So what I want to show you now, once we've got all those setups there, is I want to show you the reports. All right. The moment you've all been waiting for, right? This is it. So if I go into all reports, I will see a huge collection of Power BI reports. So give me just a second to bring that up. And I might even just do a search so you can kind of get an idea about all these reports. You can see if I'm searching for Power BI reports, guys, I'm getting a ton of reports. I think there's actually 76 different reports. And so when I load the finance app, it actually loads all of these reports underneath that. So I'm getting access to all of these, and there's even a few more down here. If I scroll down, I'm going to see even more Power BI on down the page. All right, so I've got a lot of options here, guys. And I can bring up any one of these reports, and let's see if I got inventory report loaded here. I've been playing with these a few times, so I got to pick one that I have access to. I've been doing a lot of testing with all this data, so I might have the sales report one set up. Let's check that one out. All right, so as this loads, if you look at this actual report, I am in Business Central showing a live Power BI report. And everything is clickable. As you can see, I can use it just like I'm using Power BI. And so this is great because your users that may not have a license to go in and work in Power BI and just live in Power BI, but they're using Business Central, they can come in and see these reports. All right. And so as you can see, I keep calling them reports, but there's a series of these across the bottom. So if I want to go to daily sales, I get stats on daily sales, moving average, moving annual totals. So these are all individual reports that are really a part of the Power BI sales, that whole app that has all these reports. So I've got a lot of data, and as you can see, there's 76 of these guys. Very, 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 very detailed, amazing access to all of these reports. And so one of the things I'll just mention at TrendSoft that we do is we're able to customize these for people as well. So sometimes people look at this and they go, oh, that's really good, but I actually want this to show in the corner, or I need this other piece of data, or I don't really want that, I want this in there. And that's something that TrendSoft loves to do. We love to customize this sort of data and help people see what they want to see. And so this is the example of the sales report, and I can actually view it in both places. I can view it back. If I jump back over to Power BI, if I really want to be on Power BI, I can use the Power BI app and look at this data that right here in the Power BI app. But the point of what we're looking at today really is that you can see it all in Business Central. But I just wanted you to see these same reports. They really live in the Power BI app. But then now they're all available right at your fingertips in Business Central, which I think is pretty awesome. All right. So those are the basic steps. I'm going to go back to my slides real quick so that you can see. I'll go back to those basic steps right here. So you're going to acquire licenses. You're going to install the apps in Power BI, all the Business Central Dynamics 365 apps. And then you set up the connector, which we did in Business Central. You can use the assisted setup wizard, or you can just go to that page and do it all manually. And then back in Power BI, you make sure that the data is really showing what you want it to show. So we did that connect piece as well right there. And then you just view and use the reports. And this is the part that's the fun part, guys. You get to see this data. You can subscribe to these reports and get them published to your sent to your inbox every day. You can share them with people. You can view them whenever you need. You can get the data updated every hour or so during the day if you need it to be that way. So, and then you start to use these amazing insights in your Business Central to start to make good business decisions, to start to save yourself money or make yourself more money, or any number of things that can help improve your business. Really get great insights into inventory and where things are and that kind of thing. All of these reports are now at your fingertips, right? So we looked at the demo. I just want to remind you, Power BI is available on mobile devices as well. Works great on a desktop. Mobile version is also pretty good. I'd say the tablet's pretty good. Phone can get a little bit small, but it is available in many different formats as well. All right. And we want to offer you guys some time because we know that how excited you guys can get about data. We're excited about data. We love visualizing data. And so we're going to offer you guys a free consultation to see what Power BI might be able to do for you. All right. So you got my email right here. You can put your email in the Q&A so you can see, so we can send you this information, this recording of our video today. But we want to offer you guys some time to be able to talk through what you might do with Power BI and what ideas you might be interested in, what your data looks like, all that kind of thing. So please take advantage of that. We would love to help you guys out. Again, at Trinsoft, this is something that we love doing, working in data, working in Power BI, helping companies. We are Business Central experts. We eat, sleep, and breathe Business Central and do lots and lots of new implementations and installations of Business Central. And Power BI goes right along with that, hand in hand. So we would love to help you guys with your data and help you visualize your data in Business Central. Even if it's not in Business Central, we can still help you with your data wherever it is because we have a Power BI team that can use data from literally hundreds of different resources. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Please send me a message if you'd like at this email address right here, or put your name in the Q&A and we'll be in touch. Hopefully we can help you out, and hopefully you've learned something today about how to set up Power BI and Business Central in this new relationship. All right. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you being here.